One of the concerns I frequently have about mobile applications is the functionality. Very often I find that the mobile app is limited in functionality compared with what you're accustomed to when you're using the full-fledged application, let's say such as in this case in the browser. You're not going to be disappointed when it comes to Smartsheet's mobile app. In fact, you can do just about everything that you can do in the browser. You can create a new project, you can create a new workspace, you can set up your columns, and you can choose from all the same different column types that you saw in the previous lesson. And you can do it very easily in the mobile app. So I'm excited about this because when I do have that kind of full functionality in the mobile app that I also have in the browser, then I know that I can go anywhere, be anywhere, I can be doing anything. I can be sitting on the beach on vacation and I can have a fleeting thought that reminds me, hey, I forgot to add this one thing into this project, and boom, I can bring up my mobile app in Smartsheet, I can pull up the project and add in the column or make whatever edits I need to without having to worry about not being able to do it because I'm in the mobile app. I'm very excited about this. Let's go ahead and see what this looks like. The mobile app in Smartsheet works really well. As I mentioned in the write-up, there are many mobile apps for many applications that provide very limited functionality as compared to what you can do when you're on your computer using it in a browser, let's say. Smartsheet lets you browse and access all of your worksheets, projects, what have you, and as you can see from what you're seeing on screen right now, it shows me my recent items that I've been in, and then I can scroll through and browse. I have my sheets, the ones that are organized in folders, and then I have my workspaces. Now since we're here, I'll take a quick minute to explain what the difference is. Workspaces are shared spaces, which means I can create a work environment in which I can invite collaborators to share, and those collaborators share everything that's in that workspace. I have no flexibility, in other words, to say that only these people have access to this sheet, whereas other people within the same workspace have access to another sheet. So if you want to be able to be that specific, then you don't want to put it in a workspace. You can put it in a folder, and within a folder, I can be very specific, project by project, who has access to what. The idea of a workspace is you're creating a space in which everybody who's a collaborator in that space has access to everything. Now you can establish what level of access, and that can vary from one user to the next, but they still all have access to at least view everything that's in that workspace. So now you understand a little bit, and as you can see, I can browse to everything. The Abo Shared Space is a shared space that we've created for our group on Facebook called Accountants, Bookkeepers, and Business Owners, and we've got some sample projects in there. So if you're watching this and you want to browse around there, by all means, just reach out to us through our various forums, and we'll be more than happy to invite you in to collaborate in that space. So let's go in and let's find the one that I just created in the previous lesson. And we can find that by actually going here into my schoolofbookkeeping.com space. And I have what is Smartsheet here. And I purposely put it there because later on in the course I'm going to show you how you can actually move it from one workspace to another. And obviously that removes the sharing permissions from the original place and adds the sharing permissions from the destination. But as you can see, I've got my grid view, and I can see everything that I had created in the whole one line of the project so far. I can also tap up here where it says grid, and I can look at it in the list view. And it's probably a little hard to get the context looking at a project that's just got one task, but as you can see when I tap in, I get to see what essentially is laid out in all the columns, but here it's in a row format, which gives me easy access to anything that I need. And of course I can access the information from here. I can tap off, I can edit the task, and I can check off task completed, or I can get out of it. Now going back to the grid view, I can come over here and I can actually go in and check off task completed that way, and then I can save it. So it's interesting to note that when you're in the grid view, there's one less step that's needed in order to check off something as completed. And in case you missed that, here's the difference. From the grid view, I can go right in and I can tap task completed and click save. Now if I wanted to go to the list view and I tap into the task, then I can't do anything with that until I actually clicked or tapped the little pencil icon down at the bottom left to edit the task, and then I can get in there and make the change. Subtle little difference, important to note because you'll likely encounter it yourself when you're going through it. And I always need to qualify this stuff by saying things like this, that by the time you're watching this, it's entirely possible with another update rolled out that subtle difference might change such that you can tap off task completed anytime from anywhere, regardless of which view you had. But the point I'm getting at here is you can easily see how you can access this with the mobile app. So let's go back up and let's look at something that might have a little bit more to it so that you can get a little better context on this. We'll go into our sample abo space and let's pull up something that I know. Here's something that I know has stuff in it. Let's look at Smartsheet formula examples. Pulling up, note this is the grid view, and looking at the grid view, I can browse around just like I would on a spreadsheet. Now you can also use your pinch, right? So if I want to see more of this at once, I can pinch in, so to speak, so that I can get a little broader view, a little, zoomed out view of what's in here. And then I can pinch out to zoom in and get at something very specific. And this also starts to give you a little bit of a peek at some of the formulas you can write using Smartsheet, and for that matter, how much of the spreadsheet functionality that you might be familiar with using a regular spreadsheet exists here in Smartsheet that you have access to. And this actually comes from one of the templates that Smartsheet provides. I just copied it in here as something that I can get quick access to for reference when I want to see how do I, or can I for that matter, write a formula that I'm accustomed to writing in Excel, let's say, over here in Smartsheet. So again, browsing around the mobile app, you can see how easy it is to get access to what you've created. Now what about creating something new? Let's go into my Smartsheet CCD workspace. And let's tap the plus sign up at the top, and we're going to create something new. And even here in the mobile app, it gives you the templates that you can work off of, or we can create a blank sheet. So we'll call it Mobile Project. And OK. And there it is. And I'll tap in. And let's tap on my primary column. Edit columns, primary, task. Now, as we went over in the previous lesson, you won't be able to change the type here. But now I can go right into column 2, and I can say assigned to, and over here I can tap and change it to the contact list type. So how cool is that? That from the mobile app, I can be sitting on a train, on an airplane, going somewhere, and I can still get access to all the functions and features that I'm accustomed to using when I'm working in Smartsheet. And I can create a project from scratch. Now, some people will have no problem at all. In fact, they'll really like this. For me personally, I would prefer to have more real estate to work with, and especially when I'm trying to lay something out, especially if I'm trying to lay tasks with subtasks. So let's create a new task, and let's see what that looks like here. We'll call it Task 1. Okay, and we'll just save it. Now you can't create subtasks within the mobile app. That's something you're going to have to do in the full browser version of the app. And just to show you what I mean, if I go in here and I go to create a new task, notice there's simply no option to say subtask of and assign it. In the desktop app, you can certainly do that. And we'll take a look at what that looks like when we get into the use case scenarios in the coming lessons. But you can certainly set up a project and lay out the basic tasks, at least so that later you can go in and creating the subtask when you're in the browser version is as simple as indenting one line underneath the one above it. And that's how you create the subtasks, and based on that, that's how you can create dependencies so that you can establish that one task can't be completed until the ones beneath it are. And that, my friends, is a pretty good look and overview at what's in store with the mobile app. We're going to look at the browser version for the rest of the course, but I wanted to make sure right up front that you could see how easy and powerful this is and how easy it is to use, especially once you've got a project already created, so that people could go in and easily submit information based on having the mobile app on their smartphone. Any questions, go to the forums that we provide. If you're a student, go to our answers forum right here at schoolofbookkeeping.com. If you're not a registered student, then feel free to take advantage of our public forums such as accountants, bookkeepers, and business owners on Facebook, or go ahead and join schoolofbookkeeping.com so you can get access to our private forums. As always, I hope you got something out of this. I hope you get something out of all the future lessons, and I look forward to seeing you on the web. Now you've seen how to set up a project in Smartsheet, both in the browser as well as in the mobile app. And as you can see, you can do everything you need to do right there. Next, it's time to take a look at what we can do beyond that, starting with collaborating in Smartsheet. We're going to take a look at how to add collaborators and how to assign tasks to them.